So which conversational AI are you using? Is it ChatGPT 3.5, 4.0, 4.0? Well, Google's Bard. Or which operating system is really best for your needs? Is it Windows, Windows 10, Windows 11? Could be 8.1. Is it Mac OS? Is it Linux? And there are various distributions like do you know what CPU you're using? Is it Intel Core i9 13900K? Is it Intel Core i7 13700K? Is it Intel Core i5? How about the Intel? Which programming language are you using? Is it C Sharp? Is it Python? What about JavaScript? About C++, PHP, or Java, TypeScript, or Swift? Which project tools are you using or stage you're at? Is it BuildKite, Commons, Datadog, Docker, GitHub, GitLab? How about Gist? And there's so many more.
Hold on. It is definitely time to break through the noise and get these projects popping. Hey everyone, hello fam, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to part 2 of my introduction video. My name is Vanessa Nia Ainimi, and I am your IT professional by day, host here on Poppin Project Portfolio. I just wanted to say that I'm so glad that I did this video in 2 parts because the sheer vast amounts of information there is to cover on each subject just with the IT fundamentals in networking, coding, applications. I kind of get distracted sometimes, and my day, if I'm working on my PC, sometimes will show up a little bit like this. So first I'm checking my email, and then when I'm checking my email, I notice something and I go to my LinkedIn account. So then I'm checking the LinkedIn account, next thing you know, I get a message, and all of a sudden I'm going to one like, oh yeah, something on IG. What? And I'm like, what? Hey, these guys are really good. We have to talk about the audio nerds, and we'll bring those guys up later. But then all of a sudden I'm back and I'm checking my Facebook account, and I'm like, oh, what is this? That's kind of cute. And then all of a sudden I had to remember that, oh, they always send me links to Temu. And all of a sudden I'm on Temu, and then I'm checking out new uniforms because I have to get to me. And I was like, this is a really cute uniform. It would be, but it's not solid color, but I like this color. See if it's to my size. And I'm looking at the black one. I really, really like that black one. Then I like how she got kind of shawl over that color. That's an interesting color. I do like that one. And then Fuchsia is my favorite. So then I'm looking at that. Next, you know, I get this OneDrive, hey, look back at your memories. And I go, oh, thanks, Microsoft, for distracting me even more. Because now I'm going to OneDrive, I'm looking at my memories. I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember that day. I get nothing done, and there goes my day. But after watching my videos, I also noticed that I think what I want to add before we continue, I think I need a co-host. So in order for me to have a co-host, I have a small budget, but I picked my AI robot assistant, and I want to introduce him to you. So AI robot assistant, can you introduce yourself and tell us your name?
My name is ILOKBSIO48LL63469ABIB.
Go back and shorten your name. We'll talk to you later. Go back and just shorten your name. I'll get to you later. I don't have time for you, robot, right now. Okay, so besides that, before we get serious and we dive into today's completed introduction, I want to give my second official YouTube shout out to the women rocket at Cisco. And if anyone is not familiar with Cisco routers, Cisco is behind the majority of our digital background. I mean, not just your local area network or your wide area network at work, but I'm talking about if you're watching YouTube, or if you're on Twitch, or you're watching Disney Plus, Netflix, listening to music on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music. If you're at a sporting event like the WNBA, go Sparks. Sorry, not being biased. Not sorry. Go Spark. Sorry, not sorry. Or you could be at a Beyonce or Taylor Swift concert. Cisco router, trust me, it's somewhere. I know I say women rock it because it reminded me of the reason why I chose Women of Hidden Figures last week, like rocket ship, but it is Women Rock IT. And Women Rock IT is a program that provides information and education so that women can stay connected. I love this program because it's out there to give a reach for everybody's potential. And I love what they say. It's women who rock it. It's not just for the boys. So women rock it who have been challenged stereotypes and turned their passion for technology into rewarding and successful careers. The IT is a world of possibilities, and technology career can be as very exciting and as glamorous as you want to be. I told you if you'd be at a Beyonce concert and be a technical professional there. But I love this initiative and I want to see more things like this in the future. So speaking of Girls Who Code, I was watching my Tiffany in Tech stuff this morning, and I definitely want to mention her because she gives new videos every Tuesday and Friday, and she's been representing women in the tech space, in the YouTube space, women in tech in the YouTube space for over almost 15 years now. So big major props to her and respect to all the good work she's been doing throughout the years. But she's someone you can also go watch many of her videos. She touches on so many different subjects. Someone you should definitely check out. I will leave a link in the description. Now we're going to be covering a lot of different projects here from hardware and software side as time goes on. But you have to remember that when you're doing your project, so the purpose for these Poppin projects they have in your portfolio, it's not just good enough when you're going to a job interview or you're trying to build new tech skills just for your resume, because you're not going to get a job just based on your resume. Neither it's going to be just based on a lot of your experience, but a lot of times, especially today, especially with the way technology is changing, projects show future employers or people that you're trying to get investment with and you want to bring people into your team. It just shows people that you have done more than just memorized answers for a test. I mean, I have gone back to get formal education and have certification, and I studied, and we'll talk later on about all of the different levels of the armada, the computer armada that we're all in. And my level of badges that I have for ITF, A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, and of course we can't forget AWS Cloud Certification, Cloud Practitioner. But I want to make known to you little places where you can go and find different tech projects. It could be Raspberry Pi projects for more the hardware side, but also for software, there's a website and there's a number of them. So I'm going to introduce you to something called Code Project. They have like for those who code, of course, they have over 15 million members, and they cover everything from JavaScript, C++, C#, Object-C and Swift, database, Java, Linux, Python, iOS, Android, Visual Basic, so many different projects for just specifically for coding. A little something on Bosch, I forgot about that. Anyways, they had a cute little project called the Chess Console game in C++. And what I love about this little game, oh, like that's cute over there. Love a little cute little setup, some Bosch setup. Anyways, my ADD again. This is one of the projects that's, and you can run it in a console. So basically it's text-based. So you see the pawns, king, queen, and all the little pieces are set up in text-based. You can save, load, print. And this is like, I love it because it's lightweight in its size and it's only 159 kilobytes. And this is a full chess program, it's 159 kilobytes. And so if you want to know what it means to run in a console, for those who don't know, it's a user typically interacts with the console application using only a keyboard and a screen as opposed to a GUI application, which normally requires a mouse or other pointing device. But for me, this is very nostalgic. It reminded me of my first computer that I ever owned, the Coleco Atom. And I love the Coleco Atom. And what I really loved about it is it had, at that time, 64 kilobytes of RAM. Could you imagine that today? And 16 kilobytes of VRAM, which it used to hold a gaming component. So this is one of the ones that this computer cost me under $300. If you bought this version of it, you'd have a gaming console, so you could play all your old Atari games, and you could store the word processing software that was on there and store some of the software that you typed in from the computer. Also had a basic version of BASIC that you can use. Also, it came with a printer. This was under like $300, and I would use this game controller like as a mouse because it worked with the numeric keypad. Those are just good, fun times. It reminds me of the computer magazines used to get back in my day, like in PC Junior, Compute, Personal Computing World. And there were these cool little magazines that would have the code in there. And you would take the code and you would see like, oh, here's a chess program, and you'd type on it, click on it, excuse me. We didn't click on it. You turned actual physical pages. And the code was there, and you would take it and you'd type it in line by line, and you'd run that software, and you couldn't wait till the next magazine got there. And so you can, you kids have no idea the fun it was to look through these magazines and find these little pieces of code and put them in the computer yourself without copying and pasting line by line. It was a great thing. But it was like, those are definitely simpler times. And if you wanted to write a small piece of code or a little large piece of code, you take it, put it on a floppy disk, make copies of that floppy disk, sell it to your friends, or, wherever you're haunting your software. But it's a little bit more complicated today. Remember all of the different brands that I showed you, even for doing software projects like we talked about from the beginning. There's so many brands out there. And even if I take you to the small steps of making software today, you'll see that there's a planning stage, and you would use Confluence or Jira. When you actually do coding, you use stuff like GitLab and GitHub. And then if you want to build, using Gradle and Webpack. And the testing is Playwright and just JUnit. And then if you want to release, it's Build Kite, deploy Docker, Argo, and operate Kubernetes or Terraform. You want to monitor, you use Prometheus or Datadog. And these are just the components it takes to release a software, keep track of it. We've talked about so many aspects of versioning and which IDE you're going to use and which programming language you're going to use. Those are other aspects. So ITF Fundamentals covers other things like software applications, coding, database, networking. They cover the fundamentals of these things. And these are just scratching the surface. Even if you get a certification in A+ certification, you're still kind of like, nothing wrong with janitorial work, but you're like a glorified janitor, kind of cleaning up files, repairing things. Nothing wrong with that work. But in the world of computer science, it's at the way, this is the beginning type level. So you see how much there is to learn. And learning all of this and being a part of it is because we live in a new digital world, and this is our reality. And all of this technology needs a conscious. And for us as women, we are that consciousness. And we need to have women's voices infused in our AI, this big AI creation we're making. We need to have our voices in there. If you ever look at societies that just don't respect women or hold in any esteem the female energy, this is the reality. But when you have societies that do respect women, and women are included, the whole technical industry was evolved because women were involved more at the beginning and still should be more involved now. There shouldn't be this lack. But, our voices need to be heard, unless you want to just get what people give you. Being a part of tech is not just about moving fast and breaking things. We need to have that female energy, and we need to see more women in tech and being involved in tech and making all of these new projects we're going to be working on and that you could be working on. And the future is not going to be just about just getting a job. It could be about going to a restaurant. You know, when AI takes over all of our jobs, we're getting a subsidy. People have more white papers out there and more PhDs and theses out there, and getting it to maybe that next hip club might go something like, I have my AI assistant working on my new graphics, roll it graphics team. What's your project?
I created a simple tablet app for my digital photo album using Thinkable.
Nice. Have a good time. When's your project?
I just did the cover of Vogue.
No, what's your tech project?
My VMA video of the year had lots of tech in it.
No. Go, Grandma. It's your birthday. Grandma's in here. I'm doing this. Ow. Okay, guys, let's get these projects popping. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode. Go, Grandma. It's your birthday. It's your ow.